Shorty mad cause now I'm popping. Ain't no way that I can stop it. Spread my wings and now I'm flying. Hit the slide and now I'm gliding. They so shocked that I didn't find it. How they not know what the time is when I've been on my go talk. Rappers want my feature but they always tryna lowball. I done picked it up just like a phone call. Wonder why I'm hot, got a cold heart. And I'm on it go, 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 go. Whoa, 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 whoa. I go paint the picture like Mozart. I've been on my go talk. Lately how I'm coming, I got no flaws. They just wanna stop me but I won't pause. The flow like the go wall. I know that they wanted what I got. Let them rock, yeah. I tell them go get it when it's hot. Don't stop, yeah. I've been down 10 since the drop. I've been heating up, I'm getting hot. Got a pot, yeah. I'm gonna be a millionaire. I've been going silly, yeah. Top won't be the ceiling for me. Thought that I'ma see you there. Mad that I went got the bag. It's alright, I never care. I'm gonna get the last laugh. You won't see me everywhere. They just mad to see that I could really be about it. All these rats and these racks, they see I be stylish. Started at the bottom, now the boy is on the rising. Haters going silent, ain't no one can stop it. I've been on my go talk. Rappers want my feature, but they always tryna lowball. I done picked it up just like a phone call. Wonder why I'm hot, got a cold heart. And I'm on it go, 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 go. Whoa, 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 whoa. I go paint the picture like Mozart. I've been on my go talk. Lately how I'm coming, I got no flaws. They just wanna stop me, but I won't pause. The flow like the go wall.
Wait, I just had my first pink. I ain't have a job in 2 years, it was way harder than you think. Never thought I'd be the one to make it happen, I thought I would just sing. Funny how things change, not a girl I really wanna link. Wait, everything 180, huh? Next stop a Mercedes, huh? Why my ego inflated? Cause old haters outdated. And to all the girls I dated, I'm really sorry I made it. And we can't even have a conversation anymore, my number's not the same. Damn, I'm on the same bullshit like a matador. And the VA sound like a dinosaur. Pretty little bitch that I ignore. She wanna get nailed to a 2x4. Everybody say they wanna see me score, but these days I don't really know no more. Hey, motherfuckers really hurt my core. If I keep going cool, they gon' pull my core. I'm on the same bullshit like a matador. And the VA sound like a dinosaur. Pretty little bitch that I ignore. She wanna get nailed to a 2x4. Everybody say they wanna see me score, but these days I don't really know no more. Hey, motherfuckers really hurt my core. If I keep going cool, they gon' pull my cord. And that's why I don't really got no friends. Circle same size since I don't know when. And I don't really know who want me to win, but that's the result of the city I'm in. I work like a slave, trying to get everyone paid. I want everything like Tim. What do I say? I just wanna pull up in the rave, make a car dash like Kim. Smile on her face, she can't wait till I get paid. I'ma take her far for her sins. Everything changed, it's a bigger picture in the frame. I ain't never looked back since. Said she want a steak, we already went to every place, so I had to take her out the crib. Incredible taste, but it won't last longer than a date. Because I'm on the same bullshit like a matador. And the VA sound like a dinosaur. Pretty little bitch that I ignore. She wanna get nailed to a 2x4. Everybody say they wanna see me score, but these days I don't really know no more. Hey, motherfuckers really hurt my core. If I keep going cool, they gon' pull my cord. I'm on the same bullshit like a matador. And the VA sound like a dinosaur. Pretty little bitch that I ignore. She wanna get nailed to a 2x4. Everybody say they wanna see me score, but these days I don't really know no more. Hey, motherfuckers really hurt my core. If I keep going cool, they gon' pull my cord. take back what you said. I hope it's stuck in your head. I hope it hurts that I left. You know you can't replace me. I keep your text left on red. Tell me who's really obsessed. I'd say I wish you the best, but I hope it drives you crazy. No shawty and she calling up a best friend. Going crazy at a party in the West End. You see the pics, you like, damn it, should I text him? But D&D, shawty, sorry, that's a dead end. You know you really had a chance, say you messed up. Down bad, cause you seeing that I'm next up. More clear for the body, I'ma flex up. Moved on, little baby, I don't stress ya. Now, say I'm back on road. Big checks on deck, got you mad, I know. Said you find somebody better, yeah, I hope. And I would say I miss you, but I know I don't. Yeah, way too over you, baby. No, I won't let you play me. I ignore what you're saying. Heart is full of regret. You can't take back what you said. I hope it's stuck in your head. I hope it hurts that I left. You know you can't replace me. I keep your text left on red. Tell me who's really obsessed. I'd say I wish you the best, but I hope it drives you crazy. 15 missed calls on my phone again. So much I can say, but I hold it in. I hope it hurts, no I won't pretend. But in the end I'll be okay. Either way I'll be straight cause it's over. Ice cold every time I try to hold her. Telling me I'm crazy and never giving closure. Blowing on my phone, I can tell you ain't sober. Thought I had a queen, but I really had a joker. I didn't wanna go, but my heart getting colder. And every now and then I think about when I would hold her. Now it's all over, I wish I didn't know her. But you can't take back what you said. I hope it's stuck in your head. I hope it hurts that I left. You know you can't replace me. I keep your text left on red. Tell me who's really obsessed. I'd say I wish you the best, but I hope it drives you crazy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Brian Mansell Show. As always, I'm your host, Brian Mansell. I'm a sports media professional who's been working in the industry now for a couple years, and I've got a podcast, or vodcast, as you will. I sit here and I talk about all the different sports, give all the sports different attentions and love, and give some insight onto different things happening every single day. As you guys can see, we have a topic list here on the side, listed with all the topics we're going to discuss today. We're going to try to make it as quick as we can, so we can really get to the big, juicy stuff we have towards the end. But for the most part, this is what I've got in line today. We've got the ALCS Game 3 recap, going over everything that happened between the Astros and the Rangers yesterday. The Astros getting the big victory there. The NLCS Game 3 preview, we'll give a quick look into that for the Diamondbacks and Phillies tonight. We'll go also into the Aces shortly about their back-to-back championship, something I believe that hasn't been done in over 20 years in the WNBA. So they beat the Liberty last night in a miraculous fashion in New York to win the whole thing and go back-to-back with Becky Hammon as the coach. Colts are interested in Jerry Jeudy. What will it take to facilitate that trade and make that happen? I'll discuss that with my special guest, which I'll announce in about a minute. Insight on the Giants season so far with the special guest himself. And we'll close it out with a special thing I like to do. We're going to do a Sports City tier rankings. Every time I have a guest on, I like to do some tier rankings of some kind to kind of spice things up. So today, me and my special guest are going to do Sports City tier rankings. And I'm going to do my best right now to try and get this guest in. Okay, I think you guys can see him on the screen. Alex, let's see. Can I hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Oh my gosh, it worked perfectly. Thank goodness.
Good.
Oh, the first time I had a guest on, you have no idea how bad it got. We struggled so hard to get the technology to work, but I'm so glad it works now. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, here's the man of the hour, our special guest for today's show, Alex Gajovich-Protich, creator of Big Blue in the Bronx and one of the co-hosts of the Boys in the Big Apple podcast on YouTube. Alex, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm functioning. I mean, obviously, the Giants season hasn't gone well. I mean, we'll get into that. Baseball playoffs are heating up. It's not over yet. Obviously, the Astros proved that to us last night. I guess shout-outs to the Aces for winning back-to-back championships, even though Mark Davis is the owner, which, I kind of found out this morning. Excited for the Sports City tier rankings and a lot more stuff to get into, but thank you for having me on.
Oh, dude, it's always a pleasure. I mean, I'm grateful that you guys always get to have me on too every now and then for your show. You know, it's definitely one of the better ones I've been part of on YouTube. It's 100%. If you guys haven't checked out their content, you have to. The Boys in the Big Blue podcast. Again, Boys in the Big Apple podcast. Oh my gosh, I'm tripping up. It's on YouTube. You guys can find them all out there. Again, a little insight into what you do, Alex, for those who are new to the show. What is your thing that you usually do? What's your background when it comes to sports and YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the whole channel was founded off New York Giants content that we moved into a little bit of Yankees, but we're doing all sorts of different things now. I mean, weekly, because it's football season, we're doing a Rise and Rush podcast, which is like a fantasy and betting and game preview. Sunday mornings at 9:30. We're doing Thursday Night Football tonight. And also Mondays, Brian has mentioned multiple times, the Boys in the Apple podcast. I mean, just going around like the main topics in New York sports. Sometimes we'll go out of New York sports if we need to and all that sort of fun stuff. But also we still have the Giants podcast, which runs Tuesdays and Saturdays and premieres at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. So that's what we're doing, man. I mean, we're doing all sorts of different things as we grow. We got to adapt to new audiences and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the rundown of what we do.
Man, you guys really do so much. It's actually crazy to see how much work you guys put into the channel and how well it's starting to pay off every week. You guys are growing in viewership and subs, so it's great to hear about how much it's grown, especially knowing how hard you guys have worked over the last few years to really get this thing to be a bigger mainstay on YouTube in the sports area. And, you know, you guys are regarded as one of the bigger names now on parts of Giants YouTube. So, I would say, at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about making connections and, you know, staying in the game and working hard and, you know, just not giving up essentially. And you know what? I mean, I have to give credit to you, Brian, because you helped me start the YouTube channel just influence wise and like advice wise, and then you haven't given up despite your tough schedule. So I have to give you credit on that.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. But again, I gave you guys the push you needed. I told you guys exactly what you needed to do, and it was all you after that. You guys have done everything you can at this point. You guys create the content. I just told you guys how to do it, and that was it. I mean, I'm very happy with the work you guys do. It's definitely very inspiring. I don't know how you guys do it. It's like every day there's something new out. It's awesome. So, again, if you guys haven't yet, please give them a subscribe. Please subscribe to them on YouTube. Again, that is the Boys of Big Apple or Big Blue in the Bronx.
Well, the main channel name is Big Blue in the Bronx.
Okay, so Big Blue in the Bronx on YouTube. Subscribe to them. That's where you can watch all the podcast stuff and all the Giants and Yankees and New York sports content. 'Cause I know it's not just that. You've also got a Mets fan in there, shockingly.
Yeah.
But, you know, you tell me how that makes sense. Next thing you know, you're going to add a Nets fan, right?
Well, I mean, if the situation calls for, if they're good enough if they're high enough on my list, then we can make things happen. But we're gonna stick as a trio for right now.
I respect it. So, as you guys may or may not know, we're going to start off here with our first. I'm going to start it off here with our first topic. I'm trying to reform this because the hardest thing in the world with this graphic is trying to fit you in. And it's not, no offense to you, it's not you. I promise you it's not you. It's the fact that I'm trying my best to fit you into the screen, and it's very hard to do this on this computer. Because, again, I don't have a gaming PC. So, I mean, I don't have a gaming, computer. So I use my laptop for everything. I'm sure you know that.
Of course.
I'm trying my best to fit you in so it doesn't have any issues. Because right now you're, gigantic.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best to fix that at the moment. But right now, we'll continue where we are. The first topic we're going to talk about real quick is the ALCS Game 3. We're going to do a quick recap of what happened. I'm going to pull up the highlight real quick like I always do. I don't care if it's YouTube or not. If they want to strike me down, strike me down. I don't care. I'm invincible at this point. So, you know what? We're going to pull up the Astros-Rangers Game 3 highlights. I'll try to share the screen so that you can see it as well, Alex. I don't think I can, but I'm going to give it a shot because I've been having issues with this for a while now. So let me see if I can get it. It's definitely this window, so you should be able to see this, right? Do you see it?
Well, I mean, the only thing I see is the not you profile.
Okay.
I don't see the screen.
Okay, so you don't see me sharing the screen at the moment.
Not at the moment, unless I could go on. I mean, I'm watching the Twitch thing, but.
Okay, I mean, I'm trying to find my way to get it up there so that you could probably see it. But I just shared a window with you. I don't know why you can't see it. It's a little weird. Yeah, that's not normal. It's not supposed to do that. Okay, now I still have to perfect this then. All right, so what I'll do is I'll take the reins on this then, so then I just won't have to share the screen. Sorry about this again.
No problem.
All right, so we're gonna remove the window. We're gonna stop sharing then. All right, so Astros Rangers yesterday. We were in Game 3. I know it's Brian. It is Brian Armand. I know. I see you in the chat, man. I see you. It's always me. So we're gonna pull it up now real quick, just so I can kind of try to get this in. It always takes a second. I'm sorry again, everybody. Okay, we got it. So, making his appearance yesterday for the first time was Max Scherzer on the mound here for the Rangers. In the top of the first, a lot of expectations for Scherzer coming into this. Bregman takes him in the first, going deep to right center, and the play is made out in center, and Scherzer gets out of the first with a quick 1-2-3, and things are already looking good for the Rangers to start. Not too bad for Max Scherzer, who's now made his, I believe, 4th postseason appearance now with a different franchise. I think it was started originally with the Tigers, then it was with the Nationals, then it was with the Dodgers, then it was with the now Rangers. Because I think he didn't pitch with the Mets last year. I mean, in terms of the postseason. But
he did the wild card game.
Okay, so then that makes 5 different franchises. But anyway, we go to the top of the second. Javier gets out of the first with no problems, no blemishes. But Yordan Alvarez is at the plate for Scherzer as he throws the pitch inside and hits Alvarez in the ankle, and that drops him. The man had a virus yesterday. 2 days ago. And now he's getting hit in the ankles. I mean, this guy can't catch a break, but he'll still find a way to hit it 450 every time. Yordan is special kind. But here's Jose Abreu, who takes one looking down the middle, and he just freezes up, isn't able to catch that ball right there down the middle, doesn't swing. He gets held up. That's a strikeout all day. But now to the plate comes Kyle Tucker, and he gets walked. And that's going to move Alvarez to second. So now they got a man on first and second, which is going to bring up Mauricio Dubon, who hits this one straight into left as a bouncer. That's going to stop Alvarez at third. The throw comes in strong, and that loads the bases in the top of the second with 1 out. So that brings up to the plate probably one of the people you don't want to see at the plate right now. Jeremy Pena, who hasn't been hit well this postseason, but he hasn't been historically bad against Scherzer. And this is going to be a shallow infield hit to center. And because it's shallow, Alvarez could not score, so the bases are still loaded with 2 outs. Maldonado comes up to the plate, and it's a wild pitch that gets away from the catcher, and that's going to score a run. Alvarez comes in. It's 1-0 Houston at this point. Scherzer looking a little battered up yesterday, in this inning at least, and this is where the woes started for the Rangers in this game. After that, up to the plate came Maldonado, who gets a nice base hit into left. They're trying to throw it in to cut off the second run. It's not in time, and it's a 3-0 game off a 2-run RBI double. But Maldonado looked like he got tagged at second, but not before the run scored. Upon review, he was out. But the runs stay, and Scherzer still has allowed 3 runs. As Altuve comes up to the plate, and he's this one deep into left center, and that one goes just shy of the second deck, but it's a homer regardless. 4-0 Houston at this point. Scherzer, at this point, you're questioning, can you take him out of the game? I mean, Alex, what do you think about Scherzer's performance yesterday overall?
I mean, that's really the main subject line. I have the stat line in front of me. 4 innings, 5 earned runs, 4 Ks. I mean, not a quality start from Scherzer. And, I know obviously some Met fans like Armand in the chat, they're happy about his little blow-up. But we're obviously coming into the game, we were really looking at it as, Scherzer's coming back from his injury, starts, the Game 3 of the ALCS, and it could be a closer, but he just completely craps the bed. And the Houston offense just came alive, and they didn't need any motivational speeches or anything. They came alive against Max Scherzer, and that's what makes this series interesting. You look at the series, I mean, we'll get into it probably in a little bit. It seems very one-sided in Philly right now, and you could sit here and say after 2 games side by side before going in Game 3, you can count the D-backs out. If you were counting Houston out, I would happen to disagree with you. Because after 2 games, Houston is the only team, maybe other than Philadelphia if they were down 2 games, that would probably jump back in the series. Not a lot of teams down 2-0 come back from the bad momentum and just the bad aura of being down 0-2. So shout out to the Astros. I mean, they weren't, let's be honest, Brian, they really weren't what they were in the past years in the regular season, because the Yankees even beat them in a series later in the year. But again, just shout out to the Astros, but Scherzer did a really bad job. His postseason record as of this moment for the past 10 years, 7-8, 3.80 ERA. But his last quality start was going back to 2021. I think it was with the Dodgers, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere along those lines. But anyway.
Yeah, when he spent that half season in Los Angeles, yep. I think that would make a lot of sense. That would be his last quality. But
yeah, definitely.
But I also want to add here that for the Rangers, this was a game that going into yesterday when I did a preview of this, I felt the Rangers were probably not going to win the game just because I knew Javier's trend as, for those seeing it on the screen, it's a home run given up by Javier, which helps the Rangers get on the board, coming from Josh Young, who was the one guy who had been giving Javier trouble in his career, and he showed out yesterday and showed why his bat is so special in this postseason. I felt coming this matchup, Scherzer was going to be rusty, it was going to be cold, it wasn't going to look great, and the Astros are a great team on the road this year. They're not good at home, so the advantages were clearly tilting everything in favor of the Rangers on the scale. So they needed to come out here and have a good game, and the Astros did just that. Jordan does come up to the plate here in the top of the sixth. Bradford's now in. He sent this one into deep center, and this one just comes to the wall, and a great play is made out in center by, I believe, by Tavares in center. It was a phenomenal play that he made right by the wall, going up, elevating, and just taking it right away from being a home run for Jordan at that point. But again, the game was practically over. I don't have to show any more highlights. You guys know what happens. The Rangers drop this one to the Astros fairly quickly. And I mean that, fairly quickly. It wasn't close, it wasn't pretty, and I was hoping it would have been better for the Rangers, but in the end, the final score of this one was 8-5 Houston. Texas still leads the series 2-1 going into today, though. Best days of the night, best hitters yesterday was Jose Altuve with a homer, and he went 2 for 5 at the plate. Yordan Alvarez 2 for 4 at the plate, and Mauricio Dubon actually was the most consistent hitter yesterday, 3 for 4. That includes he singled in three of his 4 at bats. The only time he didn't was in the 6th when he only flied out to right. Again, overall great hitting yesterday from the Houston Astros. They did a great job riling up Scherzer, forcing them out of the game, and forcing them to have to pitch a bullpen. And that definitely hurts Texas. But they did their job. And Texas tried to get back in the game. Some good big hits from Nathaniel Lowe and Josh Young, and also some contributions from Evan Carter and Adolis Garcia. But around the rest of the way, nobody was really hitting the ball. Tavares didn't get any hits. Garver, Jankowski. I'm going to add in there Seager and Simeon. For those two guys to not get hits is a big deal. No Simeon, no Seager, no Heim, no Garver, no Tavares getting hits. That's bad news. You can't just have a couple guys dominate if that's the truth. You really can't. Not in any way. So with that, we'll talk about Game 4 real quick. Make this really quick as well. In tonight's game, I believe the pitching matchup is for Game 4. I gotta get the specific on that.
As of right now, it looks to be Jose Urquidy versus Andrew Heaney.
Jose Urquidy versus Andrew Heaney. Heaney so far this postseason, if I'm correct, he hasn't been great, honestly. Heaney and Urquidy both have not been great in this postseason, pitching-wise.
At least this is what ESPN is giving me. I think this is the postseason stats. Andrew Heaney, 2.45 ERA, 1K, 1 walk, 3 2/3 innings pitched, and Urquidy 1-0, 3.18 ERA, 6 Ks, a walk, 2 home runs given up, 5 2/3 innings pitched.
Wow. Yeah, that's not great. Though neither guy's been really great in this postseason, honestly. But what I like to do whenever I discuss these pitching matchups is I look at how they do against the batters career-wise to kind of predict who's going to hit well in this game. And every time we've done it, we've got most of them right. So guys there are just sometimes as a batter, you may not have a good year, but there's always a pitcher that you hit well against because it's just easier to read their stuff. So for Heaney against the Astros, the names to watch tonight. Keep an eye on Altuve, who bats a career .324 average against him in 37 at-bats. And that's not an exaggeration. He really has been hitting well off of Heaney in his career. Jose Abreu has a .263 average in 19 at-bats. In 35 for Bregman, he's got a .314. Yordan Alvarez has a .286 in 14 at-bats. And Brantley has 12. In 12 at-bats, he's got a .250. I'd also keep an eye on McCormick and Pena. Both of those guys are at like .286 and .429, despite having just under 10 at-bats in their career faced against him. And also, for some reason, Mauricio Dubon. In 12 at-bats, he's got 4 hits, so that's a .333 average. All the threes. And that's what it looks like overall. So these guys really do hit well against Heaney in their career for the most part. Most of the lineup does. So that's a little scary if you're Texas. You don't want... This guy could get really banged up tonight. Bad. But for Urquidy, the question becomes, what about Texas? How can they fight back? Well, here's the bad news. Urquidy's career average against all these guys in their careers is a .218. So that's pretty low. That's pretty low for a starting pitcher. Garcia and Simeon and Taveras, the only ones who have had 10 or more at-bats against him. Taveras never gotten a hit in his career against him despite having 10 at-bats. Marcus Simeon is probably the most productive hitter of the group with .381 average in 21 at-bats. So Simeon's the guy to watch tonight against the Astros. He's going to need to have a really good night if they want to have any chance to win in this game. Because more than likely, I'm saying Houston's tying the series tonight. I think although Urquidy hasn't been great in the postseason, if there's a time to face this team and put a pitcher out there, Urquidy would be perfect because these guys can't hit off of him. They struggle a lot at it. The only guys I see here who have really hit is Seager and Simeon. That's it. Seager and Simeon are the only guys who can get hits. Everybody else is either can't or has a very small sample size, so it's unpredictable. But again, it's just tough. It's tough to pick it out. I got the Astros tonight regardless. So what about you? Do you have the Astros or the Rangers?
The worst thing in the world would, I guess for the Rangers, would be to win tonight and then Game 5 they lose and then you got to go back to Houston and that momentum riding for the Astros, and it would be nothing like the first 2 games. I think I'm going to pick the Astros tonight to tie the series.
Okay.
I think I'm going to... I usually don't do stat predictions, but I think either Altuve, I'm leaning mostly him, or Abreu. I think either of them, most likely Altuve, is going to take Heaney deep at least once. But is it going to be an offensive powerhouse like it was last night? I don't know, to be honest with you. Obviously, the ERAs are fairly low, but I'm going to say that the Astros win tonight, and then the Rangers will cap off Game 3. But you look at it, and I know the Astros did it. You don't want to lose 2 games at home in the playoffs when it's home field advantage plays a big part. So I'm going to pick the Astros to tie the series tonight.
Okay, yeah, I'm on board with that. I think the Astros do tie the series. I just realized there's a segment in here I'm going to have to adjust, which is probably going to be the Sports City tier rankings. I'm trying to find one online of all the sports cities, because what I'm thinking of is doing a tier ranking of all the sports, of the cities. Every city that's got a team, we just decide, as a town, as a sports town, are they like the best of the best, considered the best, or are they like terrible at everything because their city doesn't care for the team and like they're just actually bad? Like I was thinking something like that, but I'm not sure yet. I might have to adjust that, but if anything, we could adjust it to NFL quarterbacks. We'll do a quarterback tier ranking, and we'll piss you off by putting Daniel Jones at last.
Well, I mean, he's not last. He's gonna be in bottom 10. But I think the Sports City tier rankings would definitely be fun because it definitely gives you a lot to think about.
It does, and the problem is I can't find one, so I'd have to make one. So I'm going to have to physically make one, which, again, is going to take forever, so we're just not going to do that today. We'll save it for another day. But we're going to move on now to the next part. Now that we finished the first 2 segments, we're going to go to the Aces, into WNBA a little bit. I know you don't really watch much WNBA, Alex. I know that's not really your thing. What's up, Shane in the chat? How we doing? Shane McNeil, how we doing, man?
Shane, what's up, man?
We're having a great show right now, man. We're so happy to have Alex here. Women's National Basketball Association division of the NBA women's side. They had their finals recently, and last night the Las Vegas Aces pulled off another victory and were able to complete a back-to-back championship. The first time in 20-plus years that's happened in the WNBA. And for the Aces led by Becky Hammond, who people really believe could coach in the NBA right now. This is big for her resume. And what's rough is she got this win last night and secured this back-to-back in the town in front of the fans that she once played for and made her career, which is the New York Liberty. She has a lot of love for New York, and they were so mad last night that they lost this game. But you know what? Things happen, you know? You can't control it. It's Liberty Aces. This was just a really overall hard-fought game. Alex, do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, as you kind of brought up, I'm not too big of a WNBA guy, but I mean, I got the stats in front of me. I do know one of the players on the Aces, and that kind of goes from the Giants connection. That's Darren Waller's wife, Kelsey Plum. But shouts to the Aces. Did my camera go off? Well, of course it did. I apologize for that.
Okay, so he went off. Let me just adjust that real quick and go back to host only. I'm sorry about that, everybody. I'm going to pull up the WNBA highlights real quick while we wait for him to get his camera fixed.
It's unfortunately with this, this thing. Let me see if I can at least get it to this camera.
All right, you let me know when you got your camera going. I think I have you up in the top corner. I think I might have you.
But I'll just give this a rundown and then adjust it. So adjust it while you're going through your WNBA analysis. But
okay.
I mean, as I said, what was I gonna say? Shouts to the Aces. I mean, as you mentioned, it's the first time in 20-something years that there's been a repeat champion.
Yep.
Yeah. For points, I mean, I guess I could go into that maybe a little bit. Courtney Vandersloot led the Liberty in points with 19. I'm surprised, and this is the casual fan in me, I'm surprised it wasn't Sabrina Ionescu, because that's a one name I know definitely from the New York Liberty. The leader in points for, I think it's Aja Wilson. Wilson, 24 points. And except for two players in the lineup, plus minuses were positive for the Aces, and then for the Liberty, no, at least in the starting lineup, there were no minuses, but again, not enough points in that area. But anyway, shouts to Aces. The one thing I didn't want to see, though, was Mark Davis dancing with them at the end of the game.
Oh, that was horrific. That was a terrible scene to see. I would never.
I
didn't even know he owned the team, by the way. I want to make that note. I didn't know he owned the team.
I didn't know that either. So I woke up this morning. I had no idea he owned a team. But what was I going to say? Like, it's if you're a New York WNBA fan, I would say that I think. Do you got me on the camera?
Yeah, I got you on the camera.
Okay, good. It's like a pain, because if you're a Liberty fan and you're also like a major sports fan, like, maybe a Nets fan or a Knicks fan or a Rangers fan, like, this was the closest New York has been to a championship since, let's see, would you say the Mets in 2015?
Would you say the Rangers? Wait, no, the Rangers wouldn't be close enough, right? No.
Yeah, the Rangers haven't made a Stanley Cup, I think, since 2014?
Yeah, so I think it's after that, yeah.
The Mets were still in front of them, so...
The Knicks and the Nets weren't that close. I mean, I would say maybe... Yeah, I would say it's probably the closest. What's going on, Almighty? How we doing in the chat on Twitch, actually? He's watching us on Twitch. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate all the love, man.
If you guys haven't already, subscribe to Brian on YouTube and then follow him on Twitch. As I said, I promoted this and on my community notes page, as I said I would do, and Twitter. So give the man a follow and a like.
And I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And also, if you are watching this on Twitch, just a quick reminder, we don't do subscriptions here. I feel like you guys shouldn't have to pay for content and to have access to people and some exclusive stuff. That should just be a given because you guys are supporting the channel. So again, a follow goes a long way in helping us on Twitch. I don't feel like I need a subscription there. But on YouTube, subscription might be the only option. So like and subscribe to keep up with all the new videos we have every single morning.
You don't have to pay for a subscription on YouTube.
I know, I'm talking about on Twitch.
No, I know.
Yeah, you don't have to pay for one on YouTube, so you can just subscribe. It goes a long way in helping us grow this channel down the line. I'm trying to get some more exposure here on the sports community side of Twitch and YouTube as well. So we're exploring a little bit. But yeah, this Aces game was very competitive. The Liberty had their moments where they really had a nice size lead, but defensively, they were really struggling. I mean, the only great defender out there for the majority of the series, the best player, was actually not even Sabrina or Brianna. It was Jonquel Jones. Jonquel Jones had herself a great series defensively. At one game, I think she had 5 blocks and 3 steals. She was insane inside the paint. And she was a leading scorer, too, at the same time. She was putting up she put up 25 in one of the games, while Kelsey Plum was the one I think probably should have won the Finals MVP. She was really all over the floor, led them in scoring in 3 of the 4 games they played in this series. But they gave it to A'ja Wilson, the MVP from last season, who fell short this year, to the current MVP that was on Liberty, Breanna Stewart. Or as the fans like to call her, Stu. But regardless, this was an interesting, tough, competitive game from both sides, and I can't help but just be happy for the Aces, but also feel bad for the Liberty, because this would have been their first win in franchise history, their first ever championship in the history of the New York Liberty franchise. And to find out that they're going to come short to a back-to-back effort just kind of sucks, because the biggest thing that they had going their way was that the Liberty were struggling shooting the 3-ball the entire series. The last game they played, Game 3, was the first time they had really shot well up to their expectations. And this last game that they just did yesterday, the Aces sucked from the arc. They only took 21 shots, and they made 5 of them. That's 24%. That's terrible as a unit. But on the floor, they were better. They were better on the floor, and what really was decisive in this, they were making their free throws. Aces made 82% of their free throws, while the Liberty made 2/3 of them. That's not good. You got to be more consistent when you're doing free throws, or else this is going to keep happening. And it became a big thing yesterday, and the Liberty ended up losing by 1 specific point. And on the final play of the game, that's what did it. So for the Liberty, I'm sorry. I hope you guys are able to get back to Promised Land next year and secure everything. Let's see if you can keep the unit together. And as for the Aces, congratulations. I mean, it kind of builds up the reputation of everybody at the same time, doesn't it? I mean, you get more credibility to the league. Apparently, this was like one of the most watched finals in the WNBA's history. And if you saw the videos of inside the Liberty's arena, it was packed. Like, packed. I don't think I've ever seen that arena that packed in my life. Like, everybody from New York came out for that.
Yeah, I'm going to check the attendance on that, so I know that they usually, let's see.
If I'm correct, they play at Barclays, too. They don't play at MSG.
They play at Barclays, yep. They play at Barclays.
So if they packed out Barclays, that's kind of crazy.
Where the hell are we? Okay, regular season, preseason.
I got it. Yep, 100% capacity. I got it.
Okay.
It was at Barclays. They hit 100%. It was a sellout. Almost 17,000. They hit it.
16,851.
They hit their maximum capacity. That's actually wild to think about. And it just goes to show you how strong everything has been for, how well the WNBA's do. We make fun of, a lot of people make fun of women's basketball and everything that's associated around it. But let me tell you something, man. It's really growing whether you like it or not. It is. It's becoming a more popular sport every day. More people are getting invested into it. There's more creative personalities, more things that make it intriguing. What we usually tout it, compared it to the NBA, is the WNBA doesn't seem as physical as the men's sport is. That's the problem. I feel like that's what a lot of people have an issue with. You want to see a guy run and dunk. You want to see him completely obliterate another guy. If a woman does it, you're absolutely going nuts if she does it on another woman. That'll be all over the news. But the problem is you don't see much of that in the NBA because not many women can dunk in the NBA. I'm WNBA. That's what I noticed. It's not often that you're going to see somebody like Brittany Griner coming in and just completely slam it on somebody. You probably see it from like Liz Cambridge, who could be one of them, or you'll see it from maybe a couple others, but like there's really not many that come in and just like, they're coming in running full speed and just bam right on you. Like we see that in the NBA, we don't see it in the WNBA. I think there's a more technique-ridden game and a lot about style and passing. I think in terms of play design, it has to be more creative for the WNBA than it does for the NBA itself. Sometimes it has to be because you don't have that physical aspect you're looking for that you can find in the other sport, where you can just run down a lane, open, uncontested, just slam it. They have to lay it up. It's a difference. And I think that's what affects people's interest in the game. And this will lead us now into our next topic. We're going to go NFL from here on out. This is it. Told you we're going to get by this fairly quickly. Here we are. First off, okay, I'm really hoping my cat does not jump up on here. I know you've had that incident many times with Luca.
Oh, yeah.
You guys have had cat issues. They come into your room and they try to destroy stuff.
They pick the right time to bother you. How about that?
Yep. I was in the middle of the show yesterday and he jumped in my lap, so I'm kind of like very cautious now.
Very stuck.
Yeah, he also likes to rub himself on everything, so he was trying to rub himself on my laptop and was just knocking the camera over. So it was pretty rough. But, you know, he's learning. He'll learn. He'll learn when I throw him across the room on the bed. Again, I do not promote animal abuse. They deserve it sometimes. They deserve to be thrown on beds.
Yeah, soft.
Yeah, something soft, not a wall. We don't endorse that. But the Colts, reports are in now that the trade talks are growing. It's beyond exploratory. They're looking at Jerry Jeudy to be traded. Now, this is something I found out earlier today, so I'm adding that into here. The Colts want Jerry Jeudy. It's growing in talks. It's mixed from the Colts fans, though. They're not a big fan of it. What's it going to take to make this trade happen, Alex?
Well, I think it was last year that a lot of teams were in on Jerry Jeudy. I think the Giants were a team that maybe were asking about it last year. And Denver wanted a second. I don't know how much a second is going to do for right now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jeudy is on the final year of this contract.
I believe it's something like that, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you look at it from like a positive Colts standpoint or like any team, but we're talking mainly Colts here. It's like, okay, it's a flyer deal. But, like, if you're the Colts, it's just – actually, he's got a year next year. So I'm wrong on that one. But so he gets another year, and then his base salary next year is about $12 million. And his cap hits, about $12 million. But I don't understand as to why the Colts will go after him. I think you look at the receiving core, it's fairly young. You got Michael Pittman, Isaiah McKenzie from the Bills, Josh Downs, who they drafted out of UNC, and then Alec Pierce, the second-year rookie from Cincinnati. Well, the second-year man out of Cincinnati. I feel like this has Jim Irsay written all over it because I just don't see that why a rebuilding team. Mind you, they are making progress. You know, Anthony Richardson's not there anymore, at least for the rest of the season. So I don't really see a incentive as to why, okay, we got to bring Jeudy in the building now. I mean, sure, maybe this is the year that the Denver Broncos end up trading him because it seems like they're doing a whole fire sale. You know, they let Frank Clark go. They're probably trading some of their other assets. I don't know, man. I just don't see – I get it. They want to upgrade the wide receiver core, but if you look at what he's proved in the past, how much is he actually going to upgrade that unit overall? Like, why not just draft the receiver? I mean, the Colts what the hell is their record? Colts, they're 3-3. I mean, I'm not expecting them to tank, but if they lose enough, I mean, they could still get like I don't know what their needs are other than wide receiver, but hell, I mean, if you're looking at next year's draft, they could probably still get a solid wide receiver. Maybe even if they have some trade assets, they could use picks, trade up, and then get. Obviously, they won't get Marvin Harrison, but like get somebody who's there's other wide receiver names. So I don't know. I just don't like rebuilding teams trading for unproven assets, and yeah, that's just my opinion.
And I respect that. I think for the Colts, the fans are very hesitant. They're not, big on the idea of acquiring a receiver that's got too many questions and not enough answers. That's really where they're at. I agree that he is a talent for sure, that he was a first round guy for a reason. He could still hit that point and prove he's that guy. Do I think the Colts are going to be that situation? Honestly, if I'm being as transparent as possible, I really don't think so. I don't think the Colts are going to be the spot. But they need something to go with Michael Pittman. Because Michael Pittman needs some of the load off his back. Because he really is shelving a lot of the attention and everything that's going on with them. They really need to work on it. And in order to open up the offense, you need to get some pressure off of him, which means you need another playmaking receiver. And Jeudy is that guy. But can Gardner Minshew deliver that ball to really keep them alive here? Colts fans are hesitant on that because they just don't feel Jeudy is the answer to what they need. And that's what bothers me. I feel like it's possible you can make the argument that he can't contribute, but I think he can. It's like a 50-50 with him. He can contribute, but does he really fit what they need? That's where I'm at. I'm kind of lost in that aspect. He needs to hit his potential, and can he hit that with the Colts? He hits his potential, it's a win. He doesn't, and it's like a lost cause. So I think anything more than a fourth-round pick is too much right now because he's not doing enough.
I feel as though like Pittman's the number one. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna actually let me reference it.
Go for
Mo
it.
Alley Cox is the number one tight end, but he's like, I think they need a solid number two receiver, and yeah, Jeudy could cover that like a blanket. But I don't see next year you're paying him $12 million when maybe you have more cap space because of the whole entire rebuilding operation. I just don't see it. I really don't see as to why they should be the ones to trade for Jerry Jeudy and not a contender.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, they're still contenders, though. They're still contenders. That's how I feel about it.
Technically speaking, yes, but like I've learned this from past experiences. I don't really like. They should focus. It's tough. It really is because Richardson's done for the year. So I guess maybe your thing is you do trade for Jeudy with Gardner Minshew as the quarterback and try to make a run in a wild card spot, and say you kind of like did what the Giants last year did. It got in, maybe win a playoff game, even though that's highly unlikely, and then lose and say, hey, at least we made it to the playoffs. I mean, I don't know. I don't not understand, but I don't particularly know what the goal is for Indy right now. I mean, do you just keep developing the young players that you do have? I mean, it was supposed to be about Anthony Richardson, and again, he's done for the season.
I mean, you can keep developing them, but I don't think the Colts are just a bad team. I think they are way better than people give them credit for. Problem is, Minshew had a Minshew game against the Jaguars, which is the issue. That's why people are writing him off again, because he had a Minshew game. He's inconsistent sometimes, and he had 3 interceptions against the Jaguars, and that was key to why they lost. And he needs to be better, and we know that. Now, do the Colts realistically have a chance to win the division? No. Do they have a chance to get the wild card? Possibly. They could possibly sneak in as the third. Again, the AFC is not looking that strong this year, if you ask me at least. Like, if you go into the wild card right now, right, and you take a look at this, the team that would be in the wild card spot, in the 7th spot, is the Cleveland Browns right now. Your playoff spots, even though, again, we're going into week 7 only. Kansas City, Miami, Baltimore, and Jacksonville win their divisions. Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland are the wild cards. The number 8 seed right behind all of them, the Indianapolis Colts. That's who was right behind them. So it's realistically possible that the Colts are still in this. But right behind them, tied, is the Houston Texans. So the Colts and Texans make more sense than anybody else right now. But again, would that be okay? It's all about the assets. What do you get back? What do you get back for what you're giving up? I mean, the Broncos are done for the year. We already know this. They're done. I mean, I've already seen the memes coming out now with, you ever see Dive Wimpy Kid?
I have. Oh, actually, I've seen clips. I shouldn't say I have.
Okay.
But
I hate that I gotta find this now. But while I'm finding this, I'll explain. I think getting Jerry Jeudy would be really helpful for the unit. That's how I feel as a whole. That's really the summary of it. Jerry Jeudy would be really helpful for the Colts. Is that the cat? Did I just hear the cat?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Well, he's making his presence known.
She's gone now, so.
Okay, she's gone. Good. All right. No, not actually good, but yeah, you know what I mean. Jeudy would be really helpful for that offense and open things up. They have another reliable receiver in their core. Same can be said for the Texans. I mean, the Texans are already thriving well without having another guy there, but bringing him in to go with Nico Collins, I mean, that's pretty freaking impressive, man. Armand's actually got some thoughts on this. He says the Texans or Panthers make more sense for Jeudy than the Colts, and that he believes minimal trades happen at the deadline due to cap space and teams not wanting to trade premium draft picks. And then adds on at the end that he thinks Courtland Sutton makes more sense for the Colts.
Honestly, I might say Jeudy makes more sense. I mean, I wouldn't mind Courtland Sutton, I guess, in Indy, but considering everything I just said, I'd probably lean Courtland Sutton in Houston, to be honest with you, because I'm looking at their roster right now and their receivers and stuff like that. I mean, Robert Woods is not going to be there long term. Nico Collins is there. We obviously Tank Dell's been amazing. I would say Courtland Sutton. I mean, I could see honestly where Armin's coming from in this with Actually, I don't know if he said it, but Jeudy to the Texans, that's a lot of speed. Mechie, you got Tank Dell, you got some of the other guys on that roster. If you want speed matchup, I'd probably say Jeudy to the Texans, but as far as a number one goes and a replacement for Robert Woods in the near future, I'd probably say Cortland Sutton.
I think Sutton's a great asset too. He's really underutilized all the way around. I've always felt that way with him. And I'm excited to see what happens. I think Jeudy could really thrive with the Colts. Things could happen, and maybe his whole career gets back on track. I mean, he hasn't been bad to start. I'm not making a disagreement here. Somebody pulled up the stats and said Steve Smith in his first 3 years in the NFL had worse numbers than Jerry Jeudy did. And that just tells you enough. If Steve Smith struggled early and then became a better receiver afterwards, then that just tells me that Jeudy has the same potential, maybe in a new scene. So if he can pull that off maybe with the Colts, that'd be great. Maybe they get their next, I'm not going to go this far, but I'm going to throw it out there just to throw it out. Maybe they get their next Reggie Wayne.
Yeah, maybe. But again, I would see it as at least as maybe a little far-fetched.
It's possible, though. It depends. That's what I mean by his ceiling and potential is different than most people. His ceiling could totally be a person you could put in the conversation, one of the Colts' all-time greats, if he does well there. If he doesn't do well and he misses potential, then he's just a big what-if story. That's all he would ever be. And that's where I would leave that. So, Colts are interested in him regardless. That's what happens. Yesterday, we already talked about Derrick Henry, so we're not going to go into that convo again. Derrick Henry apparently is being shopped. And the Titans said they're not actively shopping him, but the fact that the reports are coming out that they're allowing and they're fielding calls is not a good sign for him. Now we're going to go into the second to last segment. Another football segment here. Let's do a quick insight on the Giants' season so far. I know you've been dreading this the entire time. We got to do it regardless. The Giants currently considered the third worst team in the NFC right now at 1-5. Tell me, Alex, what's going on?
A lot of things, Brian. A lot of things. First of all, it's generally disappointing. I mean, obviously came into this year. I don't know how you had the Giants on paper. We probably had similar records. I had 10-7. Maybe you had them missing the playoffs like 8-9 or something.
10-7. I had them at 10-7.
Okay. 10-7, because I know there's a couple people out there that said 8-9 or 9-8 or 9-7-1. It's just been a mess all around. I mean, the defense played really well last week against Buffalo. Have to give credit there. It's not easy stopping the Josh Allen offense, and we know he's turnover prone. But when that offense is intact, I mean, they beat Miami pretty good by 4 scores, I believe it was. So you have to give credit where credit's due. But the offense, I mean, everything has just fallen apart from the top to the bottom. The only part that's really stayed in is the receivers and the tight ends. But they can't get production if two things aren't working out for them. And if that's the offensive line not holding up, or that's the quarterback not playing well. And both have really done that. Obviously, Daniel Jones went out with a neck injury, and there's reports, whether he's going to come back this year or not. And, I've kind of just set my stuff on a boat that's, pretty much saying that I'm not for Daniel Jones as the future quarterback of this franchise. And maybe that's a year late saying that because he signed that extension. But if you're the Giants going in next year's draft, and I have to credit you, Brian, because you were the one who brought up names like Shedeur Sanders and some of these other guys, even before anybody else was talking about them, even before college football season even started. But if the Giants are in contention, and I think they should be in contention, who knows how many games will win the rest of the year, they got to get a quarterback. But also, I mean, offensive line, severe injuries. And I said this at the last part of training camp. I said, you don't have quality depth here. Some guys are getting beaten out by guys that shouldn't even be on NFL rosters because of like a regression and technique and all this other stuff. And the Giants decided to not really sign any proven guys to the backup offensive line. Like one name I was clamoring for, he's with the Jets now, is Dennis Kelly. I was clamoring, just sign him as a backup tackle because he played with Green Bay, he played with Philly, he played with the Titans, I believe. He started a lot of games. Like, it's not like he started 2 games in his NFL career. No, he started a lot of games over the past 10 years he's been playing football. So, the offensive line is falling apart to where you have, 2 starters. You have a total of 2 starters from your week 1 lineup. And we thought the week 1 lineup was going to be good. We thought at least it was going to be a solid offensive line, not top 10, not bottom 5, but they are a bottom 5 unit, and it's just sad to where you have a guy, and the one guy I give total creds to is Justin Pugh, who came in. Obviously there was Giant fans clamoring for him. He said he wanted to come back because of the whole Jerry Seinfeld experience, which is a totally different subject. But he plays guard on Sunday night, moves over to tackle when Josh Jeudy gets hurt, plays decent. I mean, he gave up 2 sacks, but he also was guessing on most of the cadences from the offensive line because he'd never played left tackle. He hadn't played left tackle in so many years, and that's what the Giants drafted him to be in 2013. Didn't work out that way. He ended up moving inside to guard. But, I mean, there's a lot of ways you could look at it. I think the Giants should definitely sell some pieces at the deadline. I know maybe Joe Shane and Brian Dable don't think that way, and maybe a lot of people think just inside the fan base, listen, what we could do is we could win these next 2 games and maybe make ourselves like a short little run and make something worth of this year and then go out next year and do our own thing. But, I mean, we'll see. The next few games are going to be – the next 2 weeks are going to be telling to see if, anyone gets traded from the Giants. I think they should give up on a couple of guys. I mean, the Dory Jackson I would possibly trade. I think Buffalo is a good target because Buffalo, I mean, you have the Shane, Brandon Bean connection, and they need a corner, and you could get, maybe a 3rd, 4th round pick for Dory Jackson at the highest, and Giants need draft assets. They only have 6. Next year, Saquon Barkley's 1, and it depends. Like, the fan base might be pissed off at that one, but, is he a part of the future? Is he not a part of the future? Leonard Williams, obviously, you just let him go because nobody's taking on the cap hit. Xavier McKinney is 1, so there's going to be a lot of things. You don't want to piss off the locker room too much, but you got to look at the guys who are going to be here next year, who are not going to be here next year. But for most people, it's more positive. It's not that it's more positive than negative, but it's more positive than it has been in weeks past because this past week was finally a close game against Buffalo, and the offense just couldn't score points. And obviously, that also comes down to some key coaching decisions. But, a lot of people are looking at this, hey, maybe we beat Washington and we beat the Jets, and, we could see where we go from there.
That's fair. I mean, at this point, I think your season's practically over. There's no playoff hopes
I
at
do.
all.
Yep.
That's for sure. What I am going to say is I think with the team, I would be more concerned about Saquon, honestly. That's what I'd be worried about because from what I've been hearing, according to speculation, is that if they don't win the next couple of games, there's a real chance that Barkley could be the asset out. I'm not kidding.
No,
he could be the guy. He could be the guy getting traded out. And if I was to be traded out, I'll tell you the team that I've heard the most comparisons to: the Baltimore Ravens.
I've heard that.
Because Baltimore needs a serious run game help, and they need to get pressure off of Lamar to keep him from running so much. And in order to do that, you got to bring in another starter, and that'll be Barkley. And at that point, Barkley's on a 1-year deal, right? So after the 1-year deal's up, he's free agent again. So he just goes on a little run with the Ravens, see if he gets a chip with them. If nothing happens, boom, he's a free agent, go wherever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, also it would be an OBJ Saquon reunion from 2018. But I've prepared myself for that. As I said, at trading assets, possibly losing the next few games. I mean, I know Armin busts my chops about it, and so does Almighty, but I don't
worry, he's busting your chops right now. He is. He's saying in the chat, Alex sounds like he's saying the Giants should tank. Holy hell, that's breaking news.
That's what I'm going to comment on. I'm not rooting for the tank. Listen, I'm rooting for the Giants to win games. If they lose games, however, not that I won't be mad. Obviously, I'll be mad, but like it obviously, if you get a lower draft pick and like week 5, I was looking at the tanking guide, and it was like this team has to lose, this team has to lose, this team has to win, this, that, and the other thing, or whatever. So, but I think the Giants, it's so tough because they're so bipolar. One week they're very competitive against a good team that they have no business being in a game. And then the next week is like, they had a week against Seattle where they should have won. I picked them to win, and then they end up losing. the way they do. So, I mean, it's just tough to tell with this team. And you do have I know the NFL says down the stretch we have a hard schedule. I don't think that's completely true. I think the Cowboys are tough. I think Washington, you could take one of two. The Raiders, I think you could win. The Patriots is going to be the worst offensive game in NFL history. The Jets, I think you can win, but you have to do the right things. So that's what? Let's see, Washington, New England, Las Vegas, and the Jets. That's what? 4 games rattled off there. So you would be, 5 wins. The Packers are tough. They will probably give the Giants a little bit of a run for their money. You're not beating the Rams. You're not beating the Eagles twice. So, I mean, you might play yourself out of a top 10 pick, but again, if we see the Giants that we saw against the Dolphins and against the Seahawks, against the Niners, against the Cowboys, then you're playing yourself for a top 10 pick.
Maybe worse than that. Maybe worse.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Giants will be bad enough to get the first overall pick.
Yeah, no.
But if they're in top 5 and they pick a quarterback, you're not going to see me mad. But what the Giants need to do is address the offensive line. And one of the things that's being talked about in Giant Land right now is moving Evan Neal inside the guard. And I think that he would prosper from that, but the Giants haven't done that yet, so we can't even speak it into existence or talk about it as a real thing because they're so situated with him at tackle. His footwork is terrible. There's some plays he looks good, and he had the best PFF grade he's had all season against the Bills, which, yeah, it's a solid sign against solid edge rushers, but, I mean, the balance, all that stuff really goes away when you move inside the guard, and he's got the strength. Once he's got his hands on you, and you don't have to, all he has to do with guard is just move forward. He doesn't have to move backward. So I think the Giants would prosper from that, and which would involve them drafting a right tackle, and then maybe getting somebody to play guard or sign Pugh to another 1-year contract, and just make this offensive line at least solid for whoever comes in next year as the quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, look, Pugh actually looked very good in that game, I have to say. He looked a lot better than a lot of people thought, and against the Buffalo pass rush, that's really impressive that he was holding up well compared to the other linemen. That's actually also a little sad that you pulled a guy literally off a couch, and he was playing better than the guys that were there every single day putting in work in the weight room and at practice, and you got this guy come off the couch, we're like, oh, don't worry, I can do that. And boom, he's doing it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I give a lot of credits to him. He's the one in the old line room that sounds like a leader. He seems like he's a very, very, I guess, humble may not be the word to put it, but he's he has that leadership. Now, maybe I didn't see it the first few years he was here, but he comes in when Evan Neal makes those weird comments. He says, Evan shouldn't have said that, stuff like that. And the reporters purposely go to him because they know he's going to give a good response and he's going to have that leadership mentality, which is something that the Giants need right now. Is they need leaders. They need someone who's going to, keep them into the game and whatnot. And, would I like to see is Jesus Christ, Pugh at left tackle this week? No, but I believe there was a stat out there, Brian, that Justin Pugh at left tackle had the lowest pressure percentage allowed by any Giants left tackle the entire season. So
repeat that stat one more time.
I believe, and I think this was on Twitter, he gave lowest pressure percentage by a Giants tackle all season.
Was Justin Pugh,
and he gave up 2 sacks. Which is not a good sign for most things, but it just tells you, they pulled him straight off the couch and he was ready to play. So there's a positive and there's also a negative to it.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. That just goes to speak to how rough it's been. Especially also Andrew Thomas not being 100% has really hurt you guys a lot too.
Yeah.
And what find it so funny is that we compare this because I remember when we argued about tackles a few years ago when they had that big draft where 4 of the guys could have went in the top 10 and we had Thomas go, we had Wirfs go, we had Jedrick Wills go, and Mekhi Becton as the main 4. But what made it so funny is I look at the stats now. The Bucs just moved him from right tackle to left tackle, and Tristan Wirfs leads the league right now in pass blocking percentage. He has not allowed 1 sack the entire season. He's got the best pass blocking grade in the NFL of all offensive line positions. That man was a steal in the top 10. And I'm so happy that you guys didn't get him. I'm so happy. But
listen, when Andrew Thomas is on the field, he's one of the best tackles in the league. Probably
except for the
top
first
three.
season. Except for the first season.
Except for the first season, no, that's right.
But I also like to see the emergence of Mekhi Becton. I'm going to add that too. He's really done well since he's stepped back into the starting role and stayed healthy, I have to say. He's been a big anchor consistency on that line, so I'm happy for him. Now we're going to jump into the final thing. Let me adjust the topics real quick so that people understand what we're doing here. I got to adjust the topics list. And change it to, from Sports City tier rankings, I'm changing it. We'll do NFL fan base rankings. This will be a little biased, I'm sure, from both of us, but this will be great.
Arma says, should Evan Neal move to left tackle this week? I'm going to say no. I mean, he's gonna be crap out of luck either way, because I mean Washington does have a good pass rush. They don't do well against the run, and the Giants need to hit them where it hurts. And the Giants obviously did some solid. Not that it was great. It was not great, but they did some solid running with Saquon Barkley in the fourth quarter against the Bills, and Neal was part of that. He was part of those blocks that were moving up. So.
This is one of the nastiest.
I would still leave him at right tackle, right guard.
Got it. Sorry, I was just trying to look for the video, and I forgot that I had to go to TikTok to find it, and it just automatically plays video. Sorry about that, everybody.
You're good.
All right. Yeah. No, I agree. Evan Neal at left tackle probably would be. I wouldn't hate the move, but I'm just not. Do you think he should be moved? Honestly, I mean, he's been sitting at right tackle since last year. And he's really struggled at that spot. Now they want to move to the left. I mean, you could do what we did. We took, you know how we said Gadecki had been really struggling for Tampa, the second-round kid last year?
Right.
They moved him to right tackle out of nowhere. And he had to go up against Aiden Hutchinson. He didn't allow a single sack to Aiden Hutchinson. He actually held his own. It was the only positive we had from that game. So maybe that could help him. I don't know. But moving him to left, what would you do with Pugh at that point? Move him back inside?
I'm not moving Neal to left because that's putting way too many things in his mind. And when he's a better guard, like a few weeks ago, he pancaked Christian Wilkins, and Christian Wilkins is an interior player. He's not an edge rusher. That just shows you that Neal could probably play the inside. I think he's got the strength. Obviously, the balance is an issue, but if he's being teamed up with the center, and all these different things, he's a good run blocker. Then I don't really. And the one thing, Gadecki was a second-round draft pick.
Second-round draft pick. He was drafted to be a guard.
Okay, and you know what? I'll give credit to the Bucks. Like he was not as high of an investment as Evan Neal, but they had the presence of mind to say he's going to be a better tackle. The Giants haven't done that yet, and it's always like a third-year thing with quarterbacks and tackles and some of these other players across the league. But I don't want to wait till the third year to finally see what Evan Neal looks like at guard. I mean, the season, if you lose the next two games, you might as well start experiencing Evan Neal at guard. I think you should do it anyway. How about that?
Yeah. I'm iffy on. I'm very iffy on corners these days. I mean, not corners. I'm very iffy these days. But I think we need to move on to the NFL fan base rankings. I'm still trying to find it. I found a bunch of the Tyree of Wimpy Kid edits with it done, but I can't find the one I'm looking for. I swear it was something involving oh my gosh. I mean, I saw the Brock Purdy one. I think everybody's seen that one. But there was something else. I'm trying to remember what it was. It's really bothering me. It was so good. Oh, there's a Giants one. I might have to share this. Okay, I gotta see if I can. I gotta try to get this on your screen so you can see it. This is bad, man. I gotta try and see if I can get it. If I can get rid of this, what I already have. I'm gonna try to change this. Let me see. Can he see it? Let me see. Can you see it now?
I cannot. I mean, I could probably just take a look at it on YouTube if you need.
All right, yeah, I would say look it on YouTube. It's probably going to be a little bit of a delay because just in case nobody knows, I have it set to be a delay here. So there's a delay from what you're hearing right now to what we're actually saying by like 20 seconds. So I'll pull it up here. I'll share the screen. You can probably watch it on there. I always have audio on, so I'll put it on here. Oop, that is not the intention. Oop. I just exposed how I'm doing this with you right now. That's not good. Oh, boy. Yeah, not ideal.
We're revealing secrets, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm actually revealing secrets. I don't like that I just did that. I'm very upset. Okay. All right, so I'm sharing the screen now. And we're going to play it. So just watch the YouTube, okay? I'm going to wait for the 20 seconds. And go.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired. Listen to the sound of my tears. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit nervous that the best of all the years have gone by.
Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit terrified, and then I see the look in your eyes. Turn around.
Oh.
Every now and then I fall apart.
What's the beautiful voice coming from? Who is it?
Tiger guy. What's funny is I saw one on Twitter yesterday of Jets draft picks.
I saw that too. Did you see who's the singing guy? Who the good one is?
Daniel Jones, I got that.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Williams.
It's Caleb Williams.
I don't
So
think
Greg
he'll be the
Hamler's Caleb
savior,
Williams.
but I don't think he'll be the savior because we won't be in contention for him. But
It just tells you where the state of the Giants fan base is right now. Is Caleb Williams time, man. It's Caleb Williams time, apparently. And speaking of fan bases, it's time to go to the fan base rankings. There's no way around it. We got to do it. I've got the tier list, if that helps.
okay,
So I'm going to put it in the host only mode where I have here, and I'm going to add you in. Now I think I can open it up right. Yep, there we go. So again, everything is fairly new, people. I'm doing everything manually. I don't have StreamYard as my advantage right now. No offense. That wasn't meant as a dig. I'm so serious.
no, I know.
It's so not easy at all. This isn't easy by any means. All right, so I kind of have you fit into the frame. We're just going to go with it and see what it looks like.
Gotcha.
So this is where we're at. Overall, the look of it is... it doesn't let me adjust it. Dang it, bastard. So, the fan base rankings. You have the best fans, the good fans, the average fans, the trash fans, and the non-existent. That's the 5. You have all 32 teams listed here with their old logos. Sorry, everybody. They have their old logos. They don't have the updated ones. But let's start with these. This one I like for fun because we're probably going to trash this one pretty bad. Dallas Cowboys. We'll start with the Cowboys. Best, good, average, trash, and non-existent.
See, here's the thing, though. It's like, I'm not even annoyed by Cowboy fans anymore because it's like the same, not constant garbage every year.
But not like their aggression, their attitude. Like, we're going to the Super Bowl every year, Dak Prescott.
They did get into a fight with Charger fans recently. That's been the viral thing. So if you want to put them in the trash category,
I put them in trash because I just think they're annoying and delusional.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay, so they're going to be in the trash category. Next up, I'll save the Giants fans for last for you.
Got it.
So we'll skip it and go to Jets.
I have to give them credit because they're the long-suffering folks. But, they did get on their high horse when they had a certain quarterback. So I guess maybe, I can't say they're the best. I'd say maybe between good and average.
So, okay, so then I'll have to be the decider here. They've gone through a lot of suffering. They can be a little annoying at times with other fan bases despite the fact their team sucks. But at least they know the fact their team sucks and they need help.
Right.
So I can't criticize them for knowing that they need help. So I'm going to, go with what's being said. And I'll put them in the average category. I'll put them in average. I can't put them in good because they do have their moments. But average is fine. Saints fans, you already know where I'm going with this.
You're probably putting them in the trash category.
Dude, I can't even begin to stress this enough to you. As a Bucks fan, they are the most torturous fans to deal with in your life. They come up to you and be like, I hope Mike Evans gets shot. Like, that's what they do. They are toxic. And I mean toxic. They're bad. The Saints are bad. They can be rough sometimes. Like, they always come into Marshawn Lattimore. They show them putting Mike Evans on a leash. It's bad. They don't care. And then that's why our mantra is, excuse my language, I might get kicked off of whatever platform I'm on for this, but, their wording is fuck the Saints. That's our motto. Every time we play them, that's our motto. F the Saints. We don't care. So I'm in the trash category. I know where you're at.
I mean, you have a better glimpse on Saints fans. It seems like they're fine to me, so I'd probably say I'd rather say average or good, but you got the bigger exposure, so if you want to move that down to average or even trash.
On behalf of Bucs fans everywhere, I'm doing this for everyone. The Saints are in the trash category. Don't even start a fight with me. I don't care. They are the most toxic and annoying group I've ever dealt with in my life. You try to be nice to them and they tell you to go kill yourself. That's how they act. That's what they do. And again, these are not my words, Twitch and YouTube. These are not my words. These are those people's words, not mine. Now, the Colts are next. I don't think I've met many Colts fans.
I only know of one, and I don't even know them. So, I mean,
So non-existent then.
I think we get to the non-existent point.
Dang. Titans. I met a couple.
I feel like I know a couple. The thing is, though, it was a Giants packed house when the Giants went down there last year. So I'd say average, maybe.
Yeah, I don't really have a bad experience with them. I never really had one with the Titans. They're pretty average. Nothing crazy. They're just like your normal fans. So.
Yeah, I would say average.
Bears.
I'd probably say average too. I mean,
I don't see them as good. I do know some toxic ones, but they're not in the point where I put them in trash because it's not everybody. But I think average is fine for me.
Yeah, I'd probably go average.
Dolphins. This will be fun.
Ooh.
Because I know where I put them, and you're not going to like it, but I'm going to put them there.
Are you going to put them in toxic?
Oh, yeah. I'll put them in trash.
Okay. I actually, based on what I've heard, I agree with you. Not that I've had a bad experience with Dolphin fans, but obviously knowing that I have, Luka roots for AFC East team, and I've heard bad stories, and basically that Dolphins fans only came alive when Tua was playing good with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I'm sorry, I got to put them in the toxic fan base. Sorry.
That's fine. There's no argument there. I'm just telling you. I feel how am I going to put this? I feel that the Dolphins are just really trash. I not because they're a trash team. They're just trash fans. I can't stand them. They get on my nerves pretty quickly. So I just had a fan the other day tell me that they think Tua is the best quarterback in the NFL. So that just tells you where I stand. It's going to be trash fans. He said Tua's the best quarterback in the NFL.
I think they're the best team in the AFC.
Correct. I don't think he's the best quarterback in the NFL. No, he's not better than Patrick Mahomes. You could go argue that somewhere else. I'm not taking it. No. Right. Mahomes is the better quarterback by far. Speaking of Mahomes, the Chiefs fan base. I think we know where this is going. I'm not saying trash.
Yeah, I'm not saying. Maybe, I'm going to be honest, with this whole Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift stuff, I'm getting a little sick and tired of the Chiefs, and I feel like they are benefiting from, certain ref calls. Maybe good, but I don't think that's, the fan base's fault. Because remember, there were some very bad years in Kansas City.
I will put good. I'm happy that they're getting their good years, but the more they keep going with this Taylor stuff and the ref issues, they're going to fall farther because they are getting very defensive of this stuff.
Yeah, and it's not like all Chiefs fans probably welcome the Taylor Swift stuff. I don't think they do.
It's not like the Chiefs fans are, berating fan bases yet. They haven't done that yet. I'm okay with them because despite the fact they're multiple championship winners, they aren't being completely crazy. So I'm cool with them. Cardinals don't exist.
Yeah, sorry. The only Cardinals fan I know of is the one I had on my show. Sorry.
It's fine. I mean, there's going to be times where we're just not going to know fans. Yeah. If there's anybody in the chat who wants to chime in too, you guys are free to chime in. At one point, Armand's laughing and say we are toxic.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a few Jet fans that are toxic.
Probably, but I'm going to leave them in average. I don't think they're there. They're on the border, though, between trash and average to me. They're on the border because they do have some bad fans. But Chargers are next. I do know Chargers fans, and I'll tell you now, Chargers fans are actually not bad. I would put them in the good category.
See, I don't know. I'm still in the boat that I don't even know that many Charger fans.
And I'm going off what I know, and what I know is that all the ones I know, they're pretty good. They're pretty good people. I don't really have an issue. They're tortured because their team can't complete a game.
and their coach can't coach for anything. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if you want to put them in average,
I mean, we could put them in average. I'm going to put them above everybody else, though. They're definitely going to go behind the Jets.
okay.
I think they go behind. I think they go past the Jets. The Titans would go past the Jets. And I like the Jets above the Bears because Bears fans have been getting more toxic lately. Falcons. You're probably going to say you don't know, or like non-existent. But
I would say non-existent.
But for me, with Falcons fans and my interactions as a Bucks fan, I'll tell you this: they really aren't toxic. In fact, I would probably put them among the best. I'm so serious. Like, they really are a good fan base.
For the Falcons?
Yeah, they are a good fan base, man. They really are. I don't have any issues with them.
Yeah, I would say good. They've been through some things.
I can side with that. I'll put them above the Chiefs right now. So right now they're the highest ranked fan base, even though they're still in the good category. Patriots, that's going toxic.
Yeah, we agree on that.
I'm going to put them above the Dolphins, though. I think the Dolphins are worse.
The Dolphins are worse right now.
Yeah, they are insufferable.
Undoubtedly.
I can't handle them. They're insufferable. I will put the Cowboys behind the Saints, even though Saints fans are like, you know, whatever they are. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to leave it as this. Cowboys above the Saints. I got problems with Saints fans. They threaten your lives if you disagree with them. It's bad. Packers, that's another one. I'm not mad at anything with the Packers fan base. To me, they're the best.
I think they're a pretty good fan base.
I would put them in best. I think they're actually really good. I haven't had any problems with the Pats fan base. I mean, with the Packers fan base. So, what are your thoughts on that? You cool with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, so in the best category, we're going to put Packers fans. Again, I've had good interactions with all of them. Even though Tampa keeps beating them, you know, I've had good interactions besides that. You know, we've had good banter, nothing crazy. We've been good. Ravens fans, that's next.
I've heard some bad things, but that's coming from a Steelers fan. But I've also heard some good things, so I'd put them in a good category.
I would put them in the good category too. I know a couple good Ravens fans. I know a couple tough ones, but like they're more just because of their passion than being toxic. Yeah. Honestly, they're just passion. That's how I label them. So we'll leave the Ravens at good. I think that's a good spot to put them. I think want to put them behind or above the Chiefs. I think behind them's okay for now, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, I'll save Tampa Bay towards the end as well, because that's our two fan bases. The Vikings.
I don't think they're bad. I'd say good.
I think they're good as well. I mean, they've been getting tortured their entire time, but I mean, they do have their moments. I'm going to put them above the Ravens and just put them in good fans category.
I would say so, yeah.
The Rams are next. I don't really know many Rams fans. The one person I do know, he's kind of an idiot, but he's not in a toxic way. He's just an idiot. So he's either going to be average fans or non-existent. That's where I'm at with the Rams.
I'd say average.
I'd say average too, probably. I'm going to put them above the Bears and the Jets. I do think it just got some dumb fans in there. We do have Armand saying that Packers fans are delusional. Well, there's a difference between delusional and an idiot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but you still have those Rams fans that are pissed at Stan Kroenke for moving the team, but
it's whatever, man.
I would say
you want another Super Bowl. Don't be mad. That's how I feel. You got another Super Bowl. You're cool. Don't worry about it. Packers fans are delusional is apparently Armand's take. I think they are delusional a little bit. But ever since they lost Rodgers, they've been very humble and honest about their teams. I'm really, really good with
actually,
them.
You know what? You're making me think about that, Brian, because they had that thing at a bar that if Aaron Rodgers got hurt, that there would be like free drinks.
Yeah.
That if the Jets lost, that there'd be free drinks.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know. We're thinking. We gotta think.
No, I didn't want to have to do this. Okay, we're gonna have to switch to Packers then. That's a good point. I forgot about that. We're gonna drop them down to then the lower end of the good fans. We'll put them above the Ravens still. And I think this involves a promotion. I'd put the Falcons up in the best fans. Again, I don't have any problems with Falcons fans. They're my rival, but I don't have any problems with them.
Yeah.
Like they call us rivals division-wise, but I've never had a bad interaction with a Falcon fan. We've always been good and cordial. We've never had fights. And they say we're the most toxic, and I said, bullshit. Watch us fight with the Saints. Or the Aints at this point. The Aints. How about the Broncos fan base?
I don't think they exist.
They definitely do exist. I've seen them. They are always questioning if life is worth living watching their team.
So average.
So average would be about right. I'd put them above Chicago, though. And probably the Jets. The Bengals. Ooh, this one I have an interesting take on. So
I
you go
don't
first.
have, particularly because of what I heard, I don't particularly have a good take.
Okay, neither do I. Packers fans love Favre and hate Rodgers. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's kind of the reason why, Armand. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna put the Bengals in high end trash, like above the Cowboys. But the reason why is because I don't have a problem with them attitude wise. I have a problem with them complaining about every little thing with the Bengals and making it like it's a problem. They start out talking shit about about the other team every week, and then when they lose the game, they blame it on everything else except the fact that their team sucked. It's bad. They're bad, and they'll just basically get mad at you and blame you, and then they'll dox you. It does happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
But I only know
I
one
agree.
fan base that can be worse than the Bengals, and that's the Steelers.
Wait, you said there's only one fan base worse than the. I mean, I would disagree that there's one fan base worse than the Steelers fans. You know, they can be toxic.
Here we go.
I think there is a portion.
A lot of them are
Steelers
toxic.
fans-
Don't. A lot of them are toxic. There's a lot of entitlement. There's a lot of entitlement with
It's
Steelers
like Super
fans.
Bowls.
It's a lot of entitlement. Let's not go there. Come on.
Low end toxic. Maybe.
I mean, I have the Bengals in high end trash, so that's like they're above 4 other people. So low end would mean they're behind the Dolphins or above the Dolphins.
Well, I still think there's some other fan bases that we haven't gone through yet that are more toxic than the Steelers and Bengals.
I will put the Steelers above the Saints. How about that? Or should I
Okay,
put them
we
above
go.
the Cowboys too?
You said above the Saints or above the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I say like the Cowboys are worse than the Steeler fans, but not worse than. Well, actually, the Cowboys are worse than Steeler fans. Then it goes down to the Saints.
Okay. So then we'll put the Bengals right above the Steelers, so the Steelers will be a little bit worse than the Bengals. But honestly, I mean it. Steelers fans can be really bad sometimes. Really bad. And it's annoying when they flood fan pages talking shit. It's bad. They can really come out in droves and then get really quiet when things happen, and then they get mad at you, and then you get DMs about finding your address. Seahawks fans, this one's an interesting one. I have them actually in the best fans category.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they had their good. I must say, like when they had their good years with the Legion of Boom, they weren't like Pats fans. So I would put them in a good category.
So would you say good or best?
Honestly, I'd go with best.
I'm gonna put them above the Falcons too. I think the Seahawks. I haven't had a single problem with them at all. They've been so nice and like so talkative. I haven't had a single issue with their fan base. Texans. I'm gonna say non-existent.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many Texan fans.
Neither have I. Browns
They'll come
fans
out
are next,
eventually.
but with the Browns fans, I'm only in the average category for them just because of one thing. There are good and bad fans, and it's usually people who believe in Deshaun Watson or hate Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people defend what Deshaun Watson did or like try to shove it off to the side.
Yep. People wearing Deshaun Watson jerseys saying Deshaun was innocent, those girls
The-
deserved it.
the-
That's what gets me.
The jerseys of like mocking like the massage thing. And I forget what. There was one jersey I saw. I'm just like, this is just absolute
Yeah.
trash.
And it came up last
so
year.
I could either say low end average or just toxic.
I think it's on the low end average, just because I don't think the Browns are in toxic territory yet. I used to have a lot more problems with them in the past. Now it's just really this Deshaun Watson problem, and that's it. And I'm good with them outside of that. I mean, I give a lot of credit to some of the people I see online who are Browns fans and won't support the Browns because of Deshaun Watson, and I credit them because that's a very bold decision, especially if you love your football team. And then I just see people who act like the girls with a problem, not Deshaun. I'm like, just, dude, relax. Stop it. So Browns are going to go in the average category. We're going to put them low. I'm going to put them below Bears fans. But again, it's because there's a good mix of good and bad, but I'm seeing more bad as of late. Raiders are next. I feel like I know where this one's going to go, personally. So it's up to you.
I mean, mostly they're seen as I haven't had bad experiences, but they're mostly seen as toxic.
I would say they're in the toxic category, just at the top. But I haven't had any bad experiences. It's just from the stories I've heard, I got to put them at the top. So they're at the basically like in the fringe between trash to low average. Now, the other one we're going to call, I'm already just going to put up here and not even say anything. It's going to be the Eagles. You already know where this one's going.
I don't need to say anything.
I'm going to put it above the Dolphins, though.
So you think the Dolphins fans are worse or better?
Dude, they are worse right now by a mile.
Dolphin fans?
Dolphins fans. But I'm not putting them above the Pats. The Pats are actually, I've started to feel bad for them because of, them actually not having a good team.
I'm sorry. I would pick Eagles number 1.
I know. It's fine. We're probably, so you're telling me with the Dolphins the way they're acting, they're not more annoying and worse than the Eagles right now. The two top teams right now in the league are not worse. Do you think the Dolphins are not worse than that? A Dolphins fan literally killed somebody at a Patriots game.
I know, but the Eagle fans just have this long reigning history. And, I literally saw something on Twitter the other day. Someone I follow was, making a take on the Eagles. And obviously it's a female. And then the person replying is the Eagles fan. Go back to the kitchen. So I'm like...
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, okay, you win. You win. Eagles are at the bottom. You win. Listen, respectfully speaking, I always put Cowboys below Eagles just because, for me, I've never had... With the Eagles, they're just aggressive and stupid. With the Cowboys, it's annoying and stupid. And annoying and stupid is worse than aggressive and stupid. Honestly, because they're just acting out of passion, the Eagles fans. The Cowboys are acting out of a delusional fantasy because they have psychosis. That's how I see it. And I mean, I'll put the Eagles at bottom just because of all the incidents of fighting and, all this other stuff, hazing, attacking people. I'll leave it at that. San Francisco, the Niners fans. I think they're in the low end good.
I would say so.
I think they're below the Ravens, but I don't have an issue with San Fran fans. Jaguars, you can say non-existent. I know where they're going.
Where do you think they're going?
Best fans.
Okay.
They've been good. They've been respectable.
I'd go low end average. I mean, they're starting to come out of the hive now, but they've been a pretty loyal fan base.
Okay, if you want to put them on low, you want to put them on maybe we'll go on high average then. Do you want to go between Chargers and Titans then?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go between Chargers and Titans. Panthers fans. I don't have a problem with Panthers fans. When they had Cam Newton, I had problems with them. Now they're in the average tier for me. I would put them in the it's tough.
Say average.
I got to figure out where to put them, though. I'm going to put them above the Jets and Broncos. Do I put them above the Rams? Yeah. Do I put them above the Titans? Probably. I'm going to put them right there, between Titans and Jaguars. Lions, best fans. Not even kidding.
No, yeah, they're a pretty good fan base.
I would actually put them above Atlanta, but below Seattle. They're very good. Buffalo's next. Buffalo's got more annoying over the years. But they're still good. I still think they're in the good category.
I mean, I don't like the way their team was playing against mine, Chippy and all that, but mostly known for being toxic and just weird, that whole table tradition.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to go I would.
We could go low good.
Low good.
So they're below the Niners, but above the Chargers. That's how we'll put it. And here they use a picture of the Redskins, but it's actually the Commanders. Sorry. Washington. I'm going to say not non-existent because I've definitely met a good amount of them. I don't have any bad experiences with them. I don't.
I mean, there's the few on Twitter that try to come out and talk crap to the Giants, even though they've been as bad.
Yeah.
But I don't really feel affected by them.
So where are we going? We're going to put them in the average then?
Yeah, put them in the average category.
I'll put them below the ones that aren't as toxic. So I'm going to put them below the Panthers and Titans who aren't as toxic. Same goes with the Rams. They haven't been toxic. Everybody below the Redskins, or Commanders in this case, are considered toxic. Anybody below from Commanders below have toxic tendencies. And that leaves us with our final two teams to get this finished here. Let's start with Tampa Bay. Where do you feel Tampa Bay sits on this tier list?
I mean, they haven't been that toxic. I'd say between good and average.
You think between good and average? Where would you say, specifically? And I'll tell you if I think you're right or wrong.
I mean, I know you probably have had, you yourself, maybe by other fan bases compared to all the people that came in when Brady was there.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst insult I've gotten. Is just, oh my gosh, just because Brady's there. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. So you don't get it. I just cropped it now so people get a closer view of what we've ranked so far. But we'll go through a recap after we finish up the last two. Honestly, my fan base went from being non-existent after Brady showed up. Everybody came out of the woodworks and people immediately labeled us in trash because of it, because the Brady fans followed. But if you're asking me honestly, after this all, some of my Bucks fans are delusional. I'm not going to lie to you. They like to really hype themselves up as, we're going to win the division again. I'm like, no, we're not going to win the division. I did that all offseason. I was like, oh, we're actually pretty good. See, now I'm starting to believe. That's how fans should be. But you know what? I mean, with Tampa, I'm going to put them in, I think, high average. I'll put them above the Chargers and everybody else in the average group. But I think we're average fans at this point. Just because we're still trying to earn our reputation back because of being labeled as Brady lovers. And we'll end it off here with the Giants. This is a very controversial one. I'll let you take the reins on this because my opinion may not be the one you like. So go for it.
I say between good and average. I think I know there's obviously the few on Twitter that are like weird, but I don't see us as like, oh, we're toxic and this and that. But
it depends. I've had two kinds of experience with Giants fans. I've had good experiences, which is like all the Twitter interactions have been great with Giants fans, and plus your chat. Your community has actually been very minimal in terms of toxicity with the Giants. It really hasn't. They're just very critical of their team 24/7. And I'm okay with that because that's normal. But it's when you turn to other teams and go after the other teams and their fans and their lives that I have a problem. So with the Giants, the latter of the portion that I just talked about, that's what I've experienced in real life. So I've had the real life interactions where they threaten you and shit, but on Twitter, I've had the really good interactions. So, and on YouTube. So, I'll put you guys in the average category. I'm going to put you above the Jets. I think I would put you probably up until the point of, I think the Giants, can I put Giants above Tampa? I'm not going to lie to you, no. I don't think I can put you above the Bucks. I'm sorry. I really don't. I know that's probably going to be really controversial, but no, I can't. We really aren't toxic in any way. You guys got some toxicity in you.
Well, I mean, apart from the Brady fans, I can say that I agree with you.
Okay. What I am going to do is I'm going to make a compensation to fit you into average. I'm going to drop the Browns down to trash above the Raiders. I'm going to leave the Bears where they are in average. And I'm going to put the Giants above the Jets, above the Broncos, above the Commanders. I'm going to leave you behind the Rams. Because, again, the Rams are also like borderline non-existent to average.
Right.
So that's really where they are. But that's the final tier list. So, again, a quick recap of what we have. Non-existent fan bases, there's only 3. We have the Colts, Cardinals, and Texans. In the trash category, ranked from the worst to the top of each category, the Eagles are the worst, followed by the Dolphins, Patriots as the 3. Then it's the Saints, Cowboys, Steelers, Bengals, Raiders, Browns. In the average category, we got, looks like 11 teams. Maybe. Is it 11? Yeah, it's 11. The Bears are on the low end of the average group, the worst of them all, apparently, in the average. Followed by the Jets, then Broncos, then the Commanders, Giants, Rams, Titans, Panthers, Jags, Chargers, Bucks. And then you go into the goods fans. And the low end of the good is the Bills. So the Bills are above Tampa. Followed by the the 49ers, the Ravens, the Packers, the Vikings, and the Chiefs at the top of the good fans category. And then at the best fans area, low end is the Falcons, followed by the Lions, and the number one fan base we've decided on in sports is the Seahawks. I think they are the most dedicated. I haven't had any toxicity with them. They've been very clean with me, so I'm cool with them. But that's it. That's our tier list, people. Feel free to tell us if you agree or disagree in the comments. But that's going to do it for our show. Let's go to the duo shot one more time. Alex, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been a real pleasure having you. Where can everybody find and follow you on social media? Please give us your handles, everybody.
Yeah, so Big Blue in the Bronx on YouTube. Big Blue in the Bronx on Twitter. It's really B Blue in the Bronx, but if you look up Big Blue in the Bronx on Twitter, it comes up. Instagram too, but we really don't use the Instagram a lot. Also, if you guys go to ball games and concerts and need parking passes for stuff, the code Big Blue in the Bronx works for $20 off on SeatGeek. And yeah, we're just continuing to make content, do different things. And, you catch Brian on our channel sometimes, but Brian's doing a good job. He's always grinding through his tough schedule, and I appreciate him having me on.
Thank you so much, Alex. It's great. It's been great to have you on. I'm hoping to get more guests on in the coming weeks to try to get more people involved in the show. So, it's not just me talking 5 days a week straight for 2 hours. I like to have this variety,
Exactly.
But I'm great. It's been great having you, man. You're always a great guest and always great to work with. So thank you again so much. And that's going to do it for our show, everybody. Once again, if you guys are looking to follow the show and you're new here to the Brian Mansell Show, you can follow us on Twitch. We don't do subscriptions. Again, you shouldn't have to pay money to get access to our content. That's not fair to you. So to me, a follow goes a long way in helping us get more exposure. Subscriptions could change down the line, but we don't know. It just depends on how much we grow here. But I really want to make this a big and passionate thing so you guys get that personal connection, like fan to fan, professional to professional, whoever it's got to be. And if you're watching this on YouTube, consider subscribing to the channel. We're going to have another stream tonight, actually. I'm going to have another stream. We'll be doing a play-by-play stream for Thursday Night Football, which I just think I wrote it in the ticker. What did I say it was, the game? Jacksonville and New Orleans. Jacksonville, New Orleans. I will be pulling for the Jaguars tonight. I wanted to do a preview, but there wasn't enough time, so I'll do that on the show tonight. Again, that'll probably be at about 8 o'clock. We'll be doing a preview of that game here on Twitch and YouTube, live play-by-play. So stick around later on tonight for that. It's always fun. We always get a lot of views and a lot of people coming in and out for the stream. At one point, we hit 20 views last week at the same time. So if you guys are really interested in getting involved there and watching the play-by-play commentary, feel free to tune into my stream. I'll be doing that throughout the whole game. Besides that point, thank you all for watching. Tonight, enjoy ALCS action, NLCS action, hockey, enjoy yourself some NBA preseason, and enjoy some Thursday Night Football. So once again, thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back tonight at 8 o'clock for the stream for Prime Video of the Thursday Night Football game between the Jaguars and Saints. And we'll be back here again tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, for the Brian Mansell Show, the next episode. So, thank you all so much. Have a great day.